So I didn't realize until I turned on the camera and looked at myself that apparently 4 months in Miami has turned me not the color of a sheet of paper. So that's interesting.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
Hi guys, welcome to Staying Salty. If you haven't been here before, my name is Miranda, and this week we're going to be talking about how CF affects our spirituality. And this is a very, very interesting topic. I think everyone is going to have a different answer, but somewhere along the same struggles at certain times in our life. From what I can recall talking to friends about this, the very rare times I've talked about this, because this is something that I rarely talk about. I think we all come to certain points in our health where we do begin to struggle with spirituality or religion or whatever it is that we believe in, if we believe in anything at all. So for me, let's see. I have had a very interesting journey with this. Kind of, did you guys hear that? I've had a very interesting journey with this topic on both ends of the spectrum, and I'm now somewhere in between. When I was younger, like 5-year-old Miranda was obsessed with God and church and walked around holding my great-grandmother's Bible and brought it with me everywhere. It was pink, it was adorable, it's probably why I carried it everywhere, but I loved it nonetheless. And I loved going to Bible school, and it was like my favorite thing ever, and like summers at vacation Bible school was the shits, and I just loved everything about it. I never questioned anything, it's all I knew. And I had nothing to make me question anything because my sickness was just my sickness. I didn't know that anyone was technically even different from me to have that be something to make me question why I was sick, or if there was a God, or if there was something to believe in. When I was a child, there was nothing to separate that from me. It was, I am who I am, there is God, and all is good. And then life happened, and when I was 11, a lot of things were going on at home, a lot of things were going on with my health, making me sicker, and a lot of things were going on in school, and I was at a Christian school being bullied, so that on its own made me question God a lot, especially with me being sicker. I lost my kind of belief in anything, and it's the tragedy of that isn't even necessarily that like I stopped believing in God and my life was sad. It was that the chain of events that happened at such a young age forced me to disconnect with myself and disassociate with myself, like my spiritual self, not even anything to do with religion, just like myself. Like I think there's a difference, and this, I'm gonna get to why I think there's a difference in a second. There's a difference between like myself and my spiritual self, and it's a very fine line, but it's the fine line that defined the next 7 years of my life. And that fine line is that from 10 to 11 to 17, when Dylan died, I didn't believe in anything. And it's a very weird time for me to have not believed in anything, but because this was the busiest time frame of my entire life. I was 11 years old, homeschooling myself and helping run a dance studio and dancing competitively myself, and doing swim team and soccer and coaching soccer and doing this and doing that and conquering the world as a child. And I grew up very fast because of this, and I should have felt so fulfilled and so proud of myself, and I shouldn't have felt like I needed to keep pushing myself for more to try to fill some void. but I did, because I didn't feel fulfilled in any way. I didn't feel like myself, even though I was doing everything that should have made me happy, and everything that should have made me proud of myself in some sense, and everything that should have made me feel like I was doing good, because I was. And I was doing a lot, and I was doing too much, and I was pushing myself, and I couldn't handle it all, and it was kind of like the quintessential scenario of one losing oneself, like just slowly yet very rapidly spiraling out of control, was my entire adolescence. And it wasn't until Dylan died and I had to face all of these emotions very rapidly of, why is all of this happening to him? Thank God he's no longer in pain. Wait, what happened to him? Where did his energy, where did all of that life in him go? What's going to happen to me? Where will I go? Within like a 2-second time frame, in the seconds I hear of his death. And, you know, the weeks and months after that of me trying to come to terms and grasp exactly what that meant for me. And it was right after his funeral. My mom and I got in my car, we drove to the beach, stayed there for a week, and I sat there and wrote and kind of started to come to terms with that in myself. And I wrote, and I kind of started to find myself again, if I had ever found myself before. It was a whole new self-aware awakening of hoping with everything in me that there was something greater than myself, some type of reasoning for everything that I had gone through, but not only what I had gone through, what my loved ones had gone through. And there had to be some type of purpose for all of this, because what is the purpose of all of this if all it's going to do is cause pain? And there has to be a reasoning for all of this pain. There can't just be some void of nothing, and what is this existence? If that's the case, then what are we all living for? Is this greater God or supreme something? If there's not something, or if there is something, what does that mean for us? But then if there is nothing, we still have to, I think at the end of the day, this greater than thou power that all of these religions and all of these spiritual practices are trying to teach us is that it's within ourselves, and it's what we take out of it. If you study religions, which I love to do, I love the history behind every religion, because at the end of the day they mainly come from the same core values, and it's just they each sprout from the different cultures and how it's affected the different communities differently, and it's so fascinating, and I love learning about it all. And I started really studying into that during this time period of me trying to figure out exactly what it is out there, or exactly what it is inside of myself that can relate to something, or that I can take some kind of strength from. And it wasn't even that I was just doing this to try to figure out some kind of way to deal with my grief. I was trying to figure out some kind of way to find myself. It was just from his death that made me want to live. It was before it's too late and I'm in his position. What do I want to do out of my life, and what does that mean for me? And it was this way of me finding myself in a way that I had never thought of before, because I thought before finding myself meant I have to find what I'm just very superficial things that people think about on a daily basis, not the like deep core moral valued things that we never talk about. I spent the next 6 years or so up until this point on that journey of trying to figure out exactly what that means for me. I think one of the most pivotal moments of this for me is the fact that I think it has to do with maturity, and I think it also has to do with just the mindset, maybe the people that I'm in, maybe just the timing of my life. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but everything that pushed me to the breaking point of believing in nothing is very similar to everything in my life that pushed me to the breaking point of needing to believe in something. And at the end of the day, that something didn't end up being some God or divine power specifically. It ended up being myself in a way. I don't have the answers of the universe. I don't know what's out there or what's not out there. All I can do is know what matters to me in life, what I know what my life consists of. I know the struggles that it consists of, and I know the only way for me to be able to get through all of these struggles in my life is if I find some kind of purpose that they're for. And I know that not even just my CF, but my life in general, the extremes of my life and their circumstances and the amount of just life I've lived in my short time on this earth has to be for something. And that something is, at the end of the day, learning for myself from it, growing personally for myself to make myself better, to grow myself into a better being and a better spiritual being in understanding everything in the chain of events. I think the chain of events in my life is something that's very interesting, that especially over this last year has just kind of mind blown me into everything happening for a reason and the timing of everything meaning so much. And just, I can't live my life at the end of the day and not believe in something. I don't know exactly what that is yet, and I think that's a life journey that me and everyone else is on, because everyone's constantly evolving in one facet or another. I know I have CF for a reason. I know that it puts me in this place in my life that other people do not experience, so that I can take what I learned from it and I take what I get from CF and I turn it into my own message, and I take that for myself to grow and give it to others to hopefully help open their eyes to something that they might not see. And I hope to take the same from others in their own life journeys. And so that, I guess at the end of the day, is where I'm at spiritually, if that's even spiritual. It is for me. I don't know, I think spirituality is kind of up for debate as to what exactly it is and what it means in each person's life. I just noticed that I'm like weirdly facing the corner when I should have been facing you guys this whole time, so sorry about that. I just kind of spaced out because I never talk about this, and for me, I think this has honestly been kind of a growing experience to make this video, because I kind of had to make this video like 10 times because the focus wasn't working right. But I think I had to have this conversation with myself a lot, which is why it took so many times to make this video, because I learned a lot about exactly how my brain works through this and how it has worked through this by doing this. So I'm super glad we did this video, and I want to hear about you guys' opinions and what you think about how CF affects your spirituality or your religion, or what is it that you believe in. Do you think they tie in together? How has it affected one or the other? Do you, at the end of the day, does all of your struggles make you believe in something, or does it make you believe in nothing, or do you hope for one either way? Are you in the middle like me? Does what I say make any sense at all, or am I just talking gibberish because I'm exhausted because my health the last couple days has just been interesting? Also bringing me to another thing that I want to talk to you guys about. My new GI told me to start taking my enzymes throughout my meal, like one every so often throughout my meal rather than all of my pills before my meal, and my stomach's just not having it. And I've been in like excruciating pain every night, and it's just like, I understand the theory behind this. I just don't know if my body can handle it because it's used to 23 years of taking it before my meal. Have you guys taken it this way before? And like, has it affected your body like this? If you have you, I want to hear from you guys, because like, I'm in pain and I don't like this. And yes, so yes, I want to talk to you guys about that in the comments below. If you like this video or you're related to it in any way, be sure to like and share. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. I'm going to put my social media accounts as well as the channels in the description down below, as well as Ava's new Instagram, because she now has an Instagram and I'm having way too much fun with it, but it's so cute. So go follow her cuteness and follow along on our daily adventures, because I never have done a story on my own Instagram, but I like am religiously, that's what I'm religious about. I'm religious about Treatments and Ava's Instagram stories. When it comes to religion, I'm more into the history, and my spirituality thing is like, I don't even know where it's at. It's kind of all over the place. I'm figuring it out as well as the rest of my life, I think, as we all are. I'm the most awkward human being alive. I've come to realize that over the course of my life. I think every day I realize even more how awkward I am. So I'm just learning to embrace that even more, I think. I think I've gotten really comfortable with myself, a lot more comfortable with myself lately, which I'm kind of really happy about, because I feel a lot more myself than I think I ever have, which I think is also very good for my spiritual health and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well, and until next time, remember to stay salty.